And then his uncle says, Wallahi ma kadabakum ibn akhi qat. By Allah, my nephew never lied ever in his life. And he told him, go and do your da'wah. He's not Muslim. He's not accepting him, by the way. He died as a disbeliever. But he says, I will defend you until I go to my grave. If you leave something haram for the sake of Allah, number one, look at the word, fi sabilillah. Man taraka shay. Not because I am gonna get caught by the police. Not because I am gonna be ruined. No, fi sabilillah. Allah will for sure, Allah shakur, you will see it. Just from your part, you have to be sincere. So the Prophet ﷺ, and now he's propagating, they came to him, they say, Ya Muhammad, can you stop this message? We make money here. You come here with this oneness of God. We need to make money. We need to make business here. We sell this. They even sell, you know what Quraysh did? It's not allowed before Islam, before the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to make tawaf. They used to make tawaf, by the way, on the idols, not on for the sake of Allah. They told them you have to buy clothes from Mecca. If you don't have clothes, you're not allowed to make tawaf. So the poor people, what they do? They remove their clothes and they make tawaf naked. Because or you have to buy clothes, the silk or whatever clothes, new ones from Mecca, so they can make more money. So they come to Muhammad, they say, Ya Muhammad, stop this da'wah of oneness. And they said, listen, what do you want? They said, number one, they said, you want to become a king? We make you king, our king. Are you after to become a king? You are our king. Just stop doing this. Sit down, give you food. You want money? We give you all the money of Mecca. Look at the Prophet Muhammad is listening. Wallah, it's like this. And his uncle Abu Talib is a man that was protecting him at the time. He's a young man, 40 years old. Now he's eager. Allah told him, Andir ashiratak. What amazing. Oh, wallahi, when you think about what the Prophet did, I says, we're not doing it. We can only talk about Islam here, but when you go outside, if you go to Las Vegas Boulevard and say, Ya ayyuhan nas, u'budu wallah, you know what's going to happen? They're going to say, this guy is crazy. Imagine the Prophet ﷺ, he's in Mecca. Ittaqullah, fear Allah. They says, majnoon, crazy. That's what they did. Subhanallah. So they says, listen, stop doing this. We give you money. We make you a king. We give you women. What do you want? The most beautiful women. They make promotion. What do you want? And then the Prophet ﷺ, he said, you finish? Yeah, you finish? They say yes. I said, listen to me. He says, Wallahi, by Allah, لو وضعوا الشمس في يميني. If they put the sun on my right hand and they put the moon on my left hand, I will not leave these matters of calling the people to Allah until I die, or Allah will manifest His religion all over. And then his uncle says, Wallahi ma kadabakum ibn akhi qat. By Allah, my nephew never lied ever in his life. And he told him, go and do your da'wah. He's not Muslim. He's not accepting him, by the way. He died as a disbeliever. But he says, I will defend you until I go to my grave. The Prophet ﷺ, he was, now he says, atbat al-nas from the religion. Today you give somebody, I don't know how much money that somebody will leave his religion or leave something. But the Prophet ﷺ was steadfast on his religion. You give me wealth, you make me a king. I don't want nothing, I want Allah. But anyway, at the time, the ulama, they say the Prophet ﷺ was ashja'un nas, the most brave. Many people think that the Prophet ﷺ is an old man sitting. Wallah, when you study the seerah, you change your mind. He was muscle, he was strong, standing, walking. And a man came to him, Ya Muhammad, and he is a wrestler. He says, can you wrestle me? If you beat me up, then I become a Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ descend from the minbar and to the floor. He says, come down. And the Prophet ﷺ beat him up the first time. He says, give me a second chance. He gave him the second chance. Boom, 3 times. And he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa annaka Rasulullah. The Prophet ﷺ one time in Medina, somebody attacked the Medina in the middle of the night. The Sahaba, they say, Wallahi, we wake up to go see what's going on, and all of a sudden we found the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ coming down, and he says, Hawwinu alaykum, take it easy, I already take care of the whole problem. I already take care of the problem. He was ashja'an nas, the most brave, and bravery is one of the good moral character. More character. And then the Sahaba, they says, كنا نختبئ وراء رسول الله إذا حمل وطيس. We used to hide behind the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when the battle get to the furious moment, when the battle gets serious, we used to hide behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was not sitting doing nothing, he was right in the middle. And one time in Hunayn, there was 10,000 Muslims, fighters. They was big. And أعجبتكم أنفسكم. They was bragging, we are good. وَلَن نُغْلَبَ الْيَوْمَ مِنْ قِلَّةٍ. No one can defeat us. And the minute they attack this Ghatafan and these people, and the Muslims somehow they lose balance and they start running. And they are defeated. The only one that stood against the whole army, wallahi, look at the seerah, is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He get up and he says, أنا النبي لا كذب. I am the prophet, no lies. I am the true prophet of Allah, ولا كذب. أنا ابن عبد المطلب. أنا of the son of Abdul Muttalib. And then he says, يا عباس. He choose a Sahabi with a good voice. He says, نادي على أصحاب البقرة. نادي for the people who memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. يا أهل البقرة, the people who memorize the Quran. And then he says, نادي على أصحاب, call upon the people of الشجرة. The people who give al-bay'ah. You know the shajara? يُبَايِعُونَكَ تَحْتَ الشَّجَرَةِ. Allah praised there was 1,000 Sahabi who pledged allegiance and defend to Islam on the Hudaybiyah. So Allah call upon them, and then He says, call about the people of Badr. The people who fought with the battle of Badr, call of them. And Abbas starts calling them, and the Prophet ﷺ, he says, أَنَا النَّبِيُّ لَا كَذِبْ. Can you believe the battle now? All of those enemy, they want to get the Prophet. Usually what a person will do, will hide. No, he didn't hide. He says, أَنَا النَّبِيُّ لَا كَذِبْ. Ana the Prophet, I am not lying. I am the true messenger of God. So now he makes himself known more. You know what that did? When the leader stood for his message and he's ready to die for it, all of those people, and that's what happened. All of the Sahaba that was running and defeated, spiritually, it's like a war, is like psychological defeat. And they start coming back and they took over again and they won the whole scenario by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they say, which is amazing description of the Prophet, kana, look, shaja'a, to the highest level of bravery, and tawadhu. He was the most humble to the people. And then Aisha, she said, kana ashad an-nasi tawadhu'an. He was the most humble person you can ever imagine. The most humble person. You know what he used to do? One time I said this story a long time ago.